Hey, with the trenches on, it's your boy Lil Gerber, and I'm back in the video, y'all. And I apologize for all this sunlight, y'all. This shit is, I'm in Philly right now. This sunlight is crazy, bro. This shit frying me. But that's besides the point, y'all. Today's a sad day, y'all, because the NBA season is over with, man. This has been one of the greatest NBA seasons in history this year and last year, all because of the narratives, the social media, all the little rivalries, the little beefs, such as the Giannis versus the Pacers type shit, the in-season tournament. What else? All types of shit, bro. Nuggets versus Sixers, like, my sun in my face. But yeah, this been a crazy season, y'all. So today we're gonna be reacting to everything the 2024 NBA playoffs is proving so far. We're gonna see if they gonna guess it right. Cause I watch ball a lot, so if they say some bullshit, I'm going to address it. Who created this video? This video is by Swish Out. I fuck with him. He got 300K subscribers. I'm trying to get up there. Alright, bet. Let's react.
Do you feel like you guys have tried everything? I mean, it's
this stuff.
Do you feel like you guys have tried everything? I mean, there's been load managing in the past, and this season you guys were like, hey, we're going to take it more seriously, and we're going to play every game in condition, and you guys did that until the guys got hurt, and it's kind of like the same result. You guys just can't stay healthy in the postseason. Does it feel like you guys have tried everything?
Yeah.
I know we've talked about it a lot, but it is one of the biggest trades of our era. But officially 5 years later, that Thunder Clippers trade is one of the biggest fleece of the decade and possibly ever. Now, obviously, context matters. You can't just look at that trade technically, because Paul George basically got traded solely for one of the best rebuilds that I've ever seen. But we know it wasn't just Paul George. Kawhi was basically involved in this package, because I don't think he goes to the Clippers if this trade doesn't fall through. But 5 years later, I'm sorry, it's an absolute disaster. And what makes it worse is the current success of now OKC. Right now, as I record this video, OKC is tied 2 games apiece with Dallas, the team that the Clippers just got sent home by. Yes, it was no Kawhi, but it's never any Kawhi. That's a given. If OKC happened,
Never any Kawhi. Thank you, yo. Kawhi, he had his crazy 2019 run. That's it. But like, since then, bro, been shit from him, bro. He went to Clippers. I think he made it to the Western Conference against the Suns in 2021. Lost to the Suns. Lost in the second round to the Nuggets. 2022. I don't even think they made it in 2022. Who they play against? I don't even remember who they played in 2022. But in 2023, lost to the Suns, and now this year they lost to Dallas. Like, shit over for the Clippers. Paul George, come to Philly. Stop playing, Paul George, and bring your ass over here to Philly, my boy.
to beat Dallas, which I'm not predicting. I picked Dallas to win that series, and they should have won Game 4. But if OKC wins, not only did they advance against a team that might have just broken up your 5-year experiment, they would have made it just as far as the Clippers did with that Jordan-Pippen 2.0 duo, even through a 5-year rebuild. That's insane. I remember this article by Forbes right after the Clippers blew that 3-1 lead against the Nuggets in the bubble, and it basically talked about how that massive trade can actually resemble another one of the worst trades of the decade, the Brooklyn Celtics trade. Yeah, you might look at it and say, nah, no way. Kawhi and Paul George, they were way younger at the time. The trade made way more sense, and they made a conference finals, slightly more success. But to me, it's really becoming a stalled out version of that Brooklyn debacle 10 years ago. And who cares if you maintain relevancy that always ended up in massive disappointment? If you celebrate that, that's the most Clippers thing ever. Brooklyn went all in, had a bunch of names for 1 year, whereas the Clippers did it for 5. But the results are damn near identical. Both trades resulted in the team that basically fleeced them kicking off some of the greatest rebuilds of our era, and that's simply a fact. 4 years post the Boston trade, Boston was the first seed in their conference. 5 years post the OKC trade, OKC is the first seed in their conference. Now, the Clippers, they're stuck with a 34-year-old Paul George who's probably about to opt out of his contract. A bad contract with Kawhi. I love Kawhi, but that's a bad contract, and I have no idea why they did that early. And no real results from this hopeful duo, but disappointment and flash in the pan ass moments. And Paul George, he's right. They tried everything. When Kawhi and PG first got there, they were heavy on the load management stuff because Kawhi was fresh off of that method with Toronto. That didn't work. And the only time we seen Kawhi healthy through a full playoffs was in a bubble off a 4-month layoff. That's not real. This year they played more than ever and they had great moments, but it ended with their best player not being there when you needed him most. This stuff, it just didn't work. The window to me to really maximize the dominance of LeBron and Anthony Davis as a
My fault, y'all. I'm saying like this because this sun is trolling, bro. This fucking sun, bro.
duo, bro, that's over. Not to hone in or trash Russell Westbrook in any way, but
I know what I'm gonna do. Y'all got y'all. Hold on.
But that Russ trade for the Lakers, it always frustrated me because it ruined prime years of what could have been with that duo. Now, AD couldn't stay healthy through those years, so we probably wouldn't have been able to see it anyway. But when they won that championship in 2020, it was such a hand in glove fit with the right pieces surrounding them. As great of a passer LeBron has always been, he averages 10 assists and leads the NBA in assists their first year together. Anthony Davis has an absolute dominant postseason run. They won a championship. It just felt perfect. Even the following season, fresh off the shortest offseason ever for a champion, they were in prime position to, who knows, win it again before injuries derailed their year. But unfortunately for them, the West since then, it's completely changed. Their first 2 to 3 years together, in my opinion, was their window to win, mainly because of how significantly weaker the West was at that time. In their first year together where they won that championship, the Lakers had the best record in the West, by far the best point differential in the West, and not trying to take away anything they accomplished in that season. But if you remember that specific year, it was really a two.
So we got the Clippers, okay. Understandable. We got Dallas. Milwaukee, okay. Dallas had a better. This can't be. This ain't it. Hell no. Lakers West controlled. I don't know.
Two-man race between the two LA teams. Dame was putting up heroic performances in dead-ass Portland. Houston, they had 2 ball hogs and their average height lineup was like 6'5". We knew that wouldn't work. Jokic and Murray, they were very young back then. The Jazz, their second best player was Rudy Gobert. Steph and Kevin Durant, they were out the conference. It was a perfect window for LeBron and Anthony Davis to capitalize, and they did for 1 year. Now, it's not like that. And you know it's not like that because LeBron and AD, they both had really good regular seasons. They both, to me, played well in the playoffs. Look at their numbers this year versus the year they won the championship. LeBron was averaging 10 points in the fourth quarter versus Denver in this series on high-ass efficiencies. I don't care that he missed one wide-open shot in Game 2 that probably could have changed the series. He played well. Anthony Davis averaged his career high in the playoffs in rebounds, assists, and field goal percentage. Could he have been more aggressive in the fourth quarter? Yeah, but I know what AD is, and you really couldn't ask for more out of your 2 best players. To me, they lost because they continued to allow Denver to go on these massive runs where they got extremely cold and Denver got extremely hot, specifically MPJ. If you look at the first halves of the first round, the Lakers damn near led the playoffs in point differential with a plus 38. They lost because, well, in the second half, they were damn near at the bottom with a minus 49 plus differential. I believe in all of their losses, they had like a 12-point plus lead. They led the series for like 70% of the time. They weren't outmatched. They just couldn't finish. And going back to LeBron and Anthony Davis, to me, they could have beaten any one of these Western Conference teams, not named Denver. Minnesota.
I said that, y'all. I said, y'all, the niggas be talking crazy on LeBron and shit. LeBron, them, they would beat any other Western team. It's just Denver, for some reason, just too good for them. I don't know why, but LeBron would have beat the Timberwolves. LeBron would have beat OKC for sure. He probably would have beat Dallas. He would have for sure beat, he probably would have beat the Suns. I'm just saying, bro. If the Nuggets ain't ever had to play, if the LeBron ain't had to play the Nuggets in the first round, bro, it would have been a good playoffs. But too bad. Yeah, the Nuggets and the Celtics are my 2 teams, too, to let y'all know.
Minnesota definitely would have been tough. But I feel like LeBron, with his experience, he would have won the chess match with Anthony Edwards. The problem is they're in the West. We had 10 teams, 10 games above 500 for the first time ever. The Lakers, they don't get the benefit of having a good first, second round matchup because they're an older team that drags out the regular season and that hurts them. And the West is only getting better. Ja's back next year. Houston, they have another top pick. Wemby, he's insane. To me, that window is just closed.
Houston has another top pick? That is bad. Houston, they need to get Shingon back. If Houston can get Shingon back and they got another top pick, they gonna be that. Cause Fred VanVleet, he hard. Dylan Brooks, he tough. Jalen Green, he tough. Jabari Smith, he's tough. Who else? Yeah. And they got another. They gonna be something.
Even with how good those two are, for them to win now, everything kind of has to be perfect, and it's never really been that way for LeBron. The Miami Heat, they're a team that's, to me, in a pretty similar situation. As much success as they've had, they've peaked. You could tell Pat Riley in his interview last week, he was frustrated, taking jabs at their best player, Jimmy.
Leaf, you're going on my YouTube, Leaf. Philly niggas, yo. Philly niggas. Philly niggas, bro. Philly niggas. Philly niggas.
Butler and calling Tyler Hero fragile. But to me, a lot of it, bro, is your fault. I respect the culture. Everybody respects Heat culture. It's obviously a proven thing that works. But Pat Riley specifically, he's relied way too much on culture in despite of talent. I don't even get how you can be mad at Jimmy, even if you are a little annoyed with his comments, because you're the one that's failed him in his 5 years there, and he's maximized that opportunity. Bad contract after bad contract, deadline after deadline where you make no moves, free agency after free agency where you make no moves. Kyle Lowry at like 36 years old, he gets a massive deal and it never worked out. Duncan Robinson, he's still owed $19 million next year. I know he had a bad back and he is good for your spacing, but this year in the playoffs, he wasn't really there. Tyler Hero, he's taking up a lot of your cap, and I know he's young, he's only 24 years old, but he's injured a lot. He's underperformed in his last 2 healthy playoffs. The only rock they've had to me outside of Jimmy Butler has been Bam. So now next year, you're basically going to have the exact same core because a lot of these guys, they're still under contract. This year, they traded for Terry Rozier, and I always questioned the fit because he never really felt quite like Heat culture, especially coming out of Charlotte. But I said, okay, they're aggressive. It really didn't work out. He was injured and he hasn't really played well. He's owed a lot of money next year. Next season, and I feel like I say this every single year, Miami has the 4th highest payroll in the league, and they still feel like they lack talent. If you look at the other top 4, top 5 teams as far as payrolls next year, even if they are a shit show, they're at least a top-heavy team with 2 to 3-ish stars on max deals. Miami just doesn't feel like that. Talent is still what they lack, yet their salary cap is one of a team with a bunch of talent. Now, in 2024, going on 2025, now with Jimmy Butler, now that you haven't maximized them, you're kind of in a dilemma. What do you...
I've been saying that, yo, cause niggas was saying if Jimmy Butler played, they would have beat the Celtics. Like, man, the Heat, they done for it, bro. They reached their peak, bro. They had their little last year run that was tough on the East and all that, but that shit over now. And now the Heat gotta compete with teams like the Pacers, the Knicks, Orlando, the Cavs, the Bucks, with Dame. Like, this shit way harder now, bro. And I don't think they're gonna be able to compete with them teams with this regular ass same team they had since 2020. So like, nah, I don't see it, y'all. I'm sorry. They ain't fucking with the Celtics with this new team. They're not fucking with the Bucks with their new team. They for sure not fucking with the Pacers. I feel like the Pacers is one of them for real. They ain't fucking with the Pacers with their new team. They ain't fucking with Orlando. Well, they might fuck with Orlando because of experience, but like talent wise, they not fucking with Orlando. They not fucking with the Cavs, I don't think. Like, nor the Knicks now. Like, shit over for the Heat, bro. They had their chance. They had their chance in 2020. They had their chance in 2023. They had their chance in 2022 when they lost in Game 7 to the Celtics. in 2022 when Jimmy Butler had that wide open three against Al Horford. He could have just drove and tied the game up, but he wanted to take the lead. So, yeah.
You do with him now? He's about to be 35 with basically 1 year left on his deal. As great as he is, and I love Jimmy, unless you really want to set your franchise back, I don't know if you can extend him to another long-term deal that will end when he's like 38, 39. I'm sorry, it's business, and Jimmy hasn't been the most healthy. Unfortunately, it feels like whatever was to come from the Jimmy Miami Heat era, y'all didn't maximize, and now in 2024, it peaked. Definitely won a lot of games, made 2 finals, I believe 3 conference finals off of grit, culture, air exposure, Pat Riley, Jimmy, all that. But it just feels like you squeezed all the juice left out of that lemon. The Philadelphia 76ers, they're unfortunately another team that's made terrible moves over the years, and it possibly jeopardized their stars window. Joel Embiid is now 30. Joel Embiid's 30 feels like 35. This man's body, his face, his legs, his knees, his back, it's just been through it. Even coming into the league, I've never even seen this man healthy for a full playoff run, and that's unfortunate. With that being said, a lot of the financial moves, even some of the draft moves Philly made, it completely destroyed this prime window of Joel Embiid. Now, not to absolve Joel Embiid for terrible, and I mean terrible performances in the playoffs. Let's not get it twisted. Last year versus Boston, I watched the MVP get locked up in pivotal moments versus Al Horford. I didn't see those statement games like I just seen from Jokic in game 4 and 5. This man picked game 7 last year versus Boston to have his worst game of his whole season. So Joel Embiid, he
Yo, I cannot believe these shorts from Fabletics are 2 for $24. Look at the shorts I used to wear.
deserves his.
Hey, yo, what's your name again, YouTube boy? Swish out. Hey, Swish out. Thank you for saying this, Switch out, because nobody in Philly wants to say this, Switch out. Thank you for saying this. The Sixers have been, no, Joel Embiid do not show up in game, like closeout games. Game 6 against Miami, he did not show out. Game 7 against the Celtics, he did not show out. 2021, I think he was injured. 2020, I think he was injured too. 2019, he played but like, nigga, game 6 against Miami, nigga, you was supposed to cook, nigga. This nigga did not cook up, bro. In game 7, this nigga definitely didn't cook up against the Celtics. So I'm happy that you stayed in. They tried to blame it on James Harden for both years. They tried to blame it on James Harden. This year, they tried to blame it on James Harden. I mean, no, on the 2023, they tried to blame it on James Harden. I'm like, James Harden won like 2 Celtics games. Joel Embiid missed 2 Celtics games, and James Harden won 2 Celtics games for us. And like James Harden, Joel Embiid only dropped, I think he dropped 31 game. Or was it 40? No, he dropped 31 game. He didn't give us no 40 points, not once. Like Jokic, he showed how to fucking do it. Like on one of the hardest years, one of the hardest conferences, he showed how to do it, leading the whole entire playoffs with points, assists, and rebounds. So like, thank you, bro. Thank you for saying it. And I'm a Jokic fan too.
Share too, but some of their draft moves and who they decided to pay over the years, it really just
like, why do we give up Mikal Bridges? Mikal fucking Bridges, they crazy, bro. Mikal Bridges is tough as shit. We won a championship with Mikal Bridges. Mikal, Tyrese, and Joel. We just need that good 2-way small forward, bro. We just need that good 2-way small forward, bro.
destroyed what looked like it possibly could have been special 5 years ago. I'm not killing them for this move because literally anybody would have done it in that moment. But they basically signed Ben Simmons to the contract of death. He got that money and basically quit basketball. They traded him for another player that damn near put them through the exact same thing. Then that Tobias Harris contract. Bro, I'm sorry, but it ended so damn poorly. This playoffs, and this stat absolutely blew my mind. You know how they have that stat per 36 minutes to see exactly what pace a player is actually on? Well, scratch that. Let's look at players that actually played 36 minutes in these playoffs. Out of every player that averaged 36 minutes, like Tobias Harris, Tobias is the only player that averaged single digits. This man is making $40 million a year. Next year, the only good part is all the bad contracts are basically done. The only contract they really have left is Joel Embiid. But that basically means you kind of have to have the perfect offseason. And if you don't, how much time do you even have left with Joel Embiid? Do you want to reboot? That's the question they have to answer. The New Orleans Pelicans, a team that I've always liked, but they have to 100% blow this big three up. This experiment from the jump is quickly turned into a massive disappointment. One of the deepest teams in the league with two-way young wings that I like. I like Willie Green, but their top three guys, let's be honest, they're all very unreliable. Zion Williamson, I'm sorry, he's a very talented player, but the facts are the facts. He can't stay healthy and he's never consistently in the best shape.
Preach, bro. Please preach, bro. He is preaching right now, bro. Zion be frying me, bro. I was fucking with Zion Williamson since I was in 6th grade since 2017 when he was still in high school, bro. I was fucking with Zion Williamson back in 27th grade, bro. And the nigga was in high school, bro, and all that, bro. And this nigga, probably before then, and this nigga ain't give me a playoffs run yet, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? This nigga, I think he about to be like 23, 24. He came in 2019. He about to be like 23, 24. Or was it 2020? I don't remember. But all I know is, no, it wasn't 2020. It was definitely 2019. He came in 2019. This nigga ain't do shit since, bro. Disappointing, bro. And the Pelicans have a crazy lineup, bro. They got CJ McCollum. Then they got another Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown crazy wingman with Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson. That's another Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown wingman. Then they still got Trey Murphy and I forgot they big man. Like, they has a good deep team, bro. This Zion gotta stay healthy, bro. This nigga Zion literally gets injured the last 3 minutes against that Lakers series that they was gonna win. He dropped 40, bro. He was gonna win that Lakers series, bro. Then the Kings, bro. I ain't gonna talk about the Kings for losing that play-in game against what's the name, against the Pelicans. The Kings done gave OKC a free first round. The Kings are supposed to win that. The Kings supposed to win that play-in elimination game against the Pelicans, and go play against the OKC. That was gonna be a good lineup. A good game, a good series. Kings versus OKC. I was going for the Kings too to beat that OKC series. Yes, Kings gonna beat OKC. I like Darren Fox over Shea, and I like and I for sure like my boy Sabonis over Shea. It is to follow, and I definitely like Malik Monk. I love Kevin Huerter. I love Keegan Murray. Like, I love Kings. Yes, they fucked up.
His team, since he's been there, they played 10 playoff games. He's never been a part of.
Like, y'all, imagine if the Kings would have beat the Pelicans without Zion, play against the OKC, beat OKC, and then played against Dallas. That would have been tough.
It's been 5 years. I'm sorry. He's proven he cannot be your best player because he's simply not there enough. Brandon Ingram, we don't talk about him enough because Zion's typically hurt and he gets the headlines for it because of his weight, but he is too. In his last 3 years, he's played 55 games, 45 games, and this year 64 games. I respect him for coming back this year just in time for the playoffs. But I talked about Tobias Harris and how he was probably the worst player in the playoffs that actually played. Brandon Ingram was a close second. Out of every player that shot as many times as Brandon Ingram did in the playoffs this year, he was by far the most inefficient. Again, probably wasn't healthy, but that's why I said this big three is not really reliable. This team, and it feels tough to say this because they're extremely deep and they just had their second best record literally in their franchise's history, but they don't feel like they have that top alpha reliable guy. You want it to be Zion, you drafted him to be that, but he's simply not there enough, and it's tough. And lastly, and it's tough for me because this is my era, but we officially hit that crossroad in eras. Now it's finally up for the old heads and on to the young generation to carry the rest of the 2020s. The sole old vet star now left in the playoffs is Kyrie Irving. That's crazy. I remember when Kyrie was the young guy beside LeBron, but all of my childhood heroes, they went home early this year. Steph, he couldn't even get in the playoffs. LeBron, he's out in the first round. Kevin Durant, he tried another super team and got bounced by a 22-year-old. Kawhi, he can't even get on the court anymore in April. Paul George, he's home doing podcasts. Jimmy Butler, he's home telling us what he would have done. It's officially out with the late 2000s, early 2010s era and on to the late 2010s, early 2020s era. Like, it's here now. If you guys made it this far, don't.
What I told niggas, bro, it's a new era. That's why I said niggas like that's why I said Jason Tatum, he's gonna win more rings. Cause I know I said like the Nuggets should have, but the Nuggets came, Jokic and Joel and Giannis and all them, they was in their LeBron James era. So like they didn't get to really turn up in their young career. That's why they won it so, and they ain't been winning it heavy. Like that's why they ain't been winning it so crazy so lately. But Jason Tatum only 26, Jalen Brown only 27. They've been dominating the East for like years. Like what makes you think the Celtics gonna all of a sudden just stop dominating the East? There's only a few teams that can stop them. Even though I do think the Sixers are gonna win it this year. It's gonna be the Sixers versus Celtics in the conference finals, and then the Sixers gonna beat the Celtics in Game 7. Yes, I see it. I not wanna see it. But yeah, this is a good video, bro. Like I said, and I think it's gonna be after that Celtics, Dallas. It's gonna be Luka versus Tatum. Luka and Tatum is gonna be though. So it's crazy, yo. I've been having that argument since 2020, bro. Who's better between Luka and Tatum? That been the argument for me. And some niggas say Luka, some niggas say Tatum. Like it been a big argument. The fact that they played this season, this finals, and y'all seen who won, ended the whole argument that I said Jason Tatum. I was the only one going with Jason Tatum. So yeah. Y'all stupid, and I feel like they gonna be in a couple more finals. Like that's gonna be the new rivalry. It's gonna be like the international versus USA. Like, but yeah, y'all. There you have it for that video. That was a good video. 27 minutes. Damn. I'm gonna cut this shit up and edit this shit for y'all and all that and get this shit posted. But there we go. I'm sorry for the bad lighting. Next video, I'm gonna turn my mirror lighting on because the sun. No, the sun not out no more. Yeah, I'm about to take this shit. But yeah, y'all. There we have it.